There are endless misconceptions about Christians, Christianity, and God. Likewise, there are countless contradictions, errors, and discrepancies in the Bible. Many of these have been used to discredit Christianity and or to deny the validity of the Bible itself. It's my purpose to examine these and see if the Bible truly is guilty of containing unexplainable errors and contradictions. It's also my goal to clarify misconceptions like these. This is attached to an even greater misconception. We'll touch on it briefly, but ultimately I want to focus more on the Christian position rather than the political issue in general. But the underlying misconception is that pro-life versus pro-choice is a women's rights issue, meaning those who are pro-choice are defenders of women's rights and those who are pro-life deny women's rights or don't even care much about the rights of the woman, when in fact it has been and really always will be a human rights issue, the right of the human being inside the womb. The issue and the only real question is the unborn a human being or not? If the unborn is in fact a human being, then the rights of the mother are secondary. It's not a matter of choosing between the unborn and the mother. Aside from exceptional cases, it's a matter of life and death for the unborn. It's only a matter of preference or convenience for the mother. And I get it, some very exceptional cases involve a victim of rape or a matter where the mother's life is at risk due to the pregnancy. And these situations are obviously unique and difficult to deal with. And not that I'm insensitive to these situations, but we can't decide whether something is right or wrong based on these exceptional cases. That's just not how it works. I mean, when it comes to adults, murder is either lawful or unlawful. It's either right or wrong. If someone is shooting at me and my family with the intention to kill us, and I shoot back in defense and happen to kill him, does that now make murder generally okay because of the exceptional case of self-defense? Of course not. When it comes to the ethics of abortion, I honestly don't believe that one even has to be a Christian to have pro-life values. According to my limited knowledge of biology and a little bit of medical research, I found the unborn to be without doubt a human life. And according to normal ethics and adherence to the law, if I believe that murdering a human is wrong, then the same has to apply to all humans. It's contradictory to believe that murder is wrong when it comes to adults and even a day-old baby, but right when it comes to the unborn, unless I truly believe the unborn is not a human being at all. If you look at the stages of development, even early on, we see that the fetus has some pretty distinct traits even in the first few weeks. Let me quickly spit out some facts. At only 6 weeks, the brain and lungs are forming. As the arms and legs are already formed and the hands and feet developed, the fingers and toes are distinguishable, though likely still webbed. The ears are forming and the eyes are visible, and the upper lip and nose have formed. In most states, abortion is allowed up to 24 weeks. I'm not going to get into all the development of a baby at 6 months because it's really not too much different from a baby that is born. But let's just say the fetus is fully developed, able to respond to sound, and even has developed a startle reflex. But let's look at Christians on the issue. And right now I'm not talking about Republicans or the far right or even conservatives, but Christians in particular, because I can only speak for them as to their motive and biblical basis behind their right to life position. This issue is so much more critical to Christians because they believe that every life is precious from the moment of conception. God told Jeremiah, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated you." There are numerous passages that tell us that we are formed and knitted in the womb. John the Baptist even had the Holy Spirit in him while he was still in the womb. In Old Testament law, if someone caused a woman to miscarry through physical altercation, they would be punished, sometimes even requiring a life for a life. We know that humans are created in the image of God. Children are a blessing from God, and they are the fruit of the womb. See, according to the Bible, and we could argue according to biology and physiology, the unborn child is not simply part of the woman's body. We don't consider it to be her property. It's not a matter of a woman having the right over her own body because it's not her own body. The baby is its own body. The unborn child has a heartbeat of its own organs, its own mind. Granted, it's not as intelligent yet, but neither is a day-old baby. In fact, you gotta consider how much of a difference there is between a 6-month grown fetus and a day-old baby. There's really nothing to distinguish the 1-day-old baby, as classified as a human being, that wouldn't qualify the unborn baby. If we're simply looking at, as we often do, the inconvenience or even hardship that would be placed on the mother in allowing the child to be born, it's not a proper balance. Let's just say the baby's only 1 day old, and to keep that baby, the mother would have to suffer in some way. Is it right then to eliminate the baby for the sake of the mother's personal rights? Of course not. You can't put a life and death sense of human rights next to the right to quality of life. And if we believe this to be true of any post-born baby, then the only factor that should matter is if the unborn is a human being or is it not, plain and simple. Christians believe the baby inside or outside the womb is a human being. All other factors to whether it's okay to kill the human life are simply irrelevant. So you can't accuse Christians of denying a woman her right to choose when they don't believe that any human's life should be chosen by anyone else. You can't say Christians have no respect for a woman's body when they don't believe that an individual life is even part of a woman's body. So let's just get the facts straight. Christians are pro-life because they are for the protection of all life. They value all life, whether inside or outside the womb, because each life is precious and intricately designed in the image of God. They believe it's morally, legally, and ethically wrong to murder any human life. Plain and simple. Until next time.
This is the way.